Hey, welcome back to Of the Devil. It's me, Cheesy. It's been a little while since I played. I got real busy, but hopefully I'm still keeping up with the schedule, and at least I'm hoping so. All right, I guess time to continue. I think we just had our conversation with our boy. What's his name? His name is Makoto? Yeah, no, that's not Makoto. Ah, Sosuke. There you go. He's looking terrible. All right. So we gotta get him off the hook from our shit and figure out who killed that fifth dude. All right. I guess we're heading back once more into the depths. When I went down to the lower wards last night, I knew what I wanted to find, but I wasn't sure where to look. Now I know where to look, but I have multiple priorities to consider. It'd be nice if I can prove Sosuke's innocence. It won't be easy, given that they think he killed a cop. But it'd keep me on the Akira's good side. That'd be nice. What is essential is that I figure out what the hell happened after I left, and whether anyone found any trace that I was ever there. Everything else is secondary. Sorry. I guess I should have asked before I decided we'd be sharing a cab. I don't mind. But I am surprised. Did budget cuts take away your shiny patrol car? Oh, that was me. Patrol cars are shared, counselor. Any cop can step into any other cop's car, sync their credentials, and drive. Convenient. Shame you can't personalize. Yeah, no more dice in the mirror. Is that why we're in a cab then? Personal taste. Police cars are full of bugs. Thought you might appreciate the privacy. Autocabs are full of bugs too. True, but there are ways around them. Are there? I didn't know that. Yeah, plenty. Can be easy as flashing a police badge. Oh. Something you want to discuss in private, detective. I was asked to get in contact with you and pass along a message. Oh. A secret admirer? Certain interested parties and all that. You know how it is. I'm not sure I do. Does this have something to do with my client's business affiliations? There would be a lot more blustering if I were to repeat it verbatim, so I'll paraphrase. Focus on getting the best outcome for your client. More of a reminder of what my job description is than a warning. And don't broaden the scope of your investigation any more than strictly necessary. Well, I always appreciate kind words of advice. But Detective London, that almost makes it sound like you're on the take. That's the city, Tiger. If you don't take a little, they'll bury you. Alive, if need be. Oh, they will. How conspiratorial. It's not a joke, Morgan. Do they threaten your wife with Tommy guns if you don't comply? Ha! It's gotten more sophisticated than that. Well, maybe sophisticated isn't the right word. Complicated might be more accurate. Or you could just call it a quagmire. Sorry, I sneezed. Or even a shitstorm. If you can't get along, go along. Even other cops won't trust you. You end up shot in the back, friendly fire, a tragic newspaper clipping. You're exaggerating. You're telling me the entire police force is corrupt. Corruption would be one thing you could, in theory, root it out. But above and below the canopy, it's all intertwined, every tree stabilizing every other tree. What do they call that? Not parasitism. Commensalism. There you go. The state pays criminal informants to rat on their peers and lets them keep their positions in exchange. Orcas buying judges and politicians to keep their men out of prison. Status quo, balancing act, a cycle. Stable as any gyroscope. Forgive me if I find that hard to believe. Crime is at an all-time low. That's not a contradiction. People hate crime. But what gets people killed is chaos. And the opposite of organized crime is... So everyone's playing nice with each other. Even Detective Reyes. She's... What about the man they think my client killed? Did he play nice? He was a special case. You got the brief, you recognized his last name. It's a big city, and I'll put too much stock into last names. You'll need to break that habit if you continue to work in the underworld. Sosuke said something similar. Tariq Chopin, only son of Miguel and Dominic Chopin. Tariq Chopin, the power couple? Oh, look at that fun man. Patrol officer. Alright, blood type A+. Likes 24/7 news, calligraphy, and late dinners. Calligraphy pretty cool. 24/7 news? Dislikes gray hair, untucked shirts, mint. Bachelor of Science in Applied Philosophy. Awarded Senatorial Commendation of Bravery, posthumous. Survived by fathers Miguel and Dominic Chopin, city councilman. So he's dead. He's the one who died, okay. Wait, wasn't that, I feel like I read in some articles some names that I recognize. Chopin, haha, the power couple. I knew this from another episode. I knew this was important. Why would the son of two of our city's most prominent council members be working as a police officer? You want the full story? Always. Chopin. So who was this Chopin, really? An idealist. Wrong line of work, then. You're only half right. When he entered the academy, everyone assumed it was a political move, first step in his career to becoming a senator or whatever. Maybe it was, but anyone who met the guy could tell he would have made a lousy politician. You're saying he was honest? Wouldn't tell a lie if his life depended on it. Guy couldn't do small talk, much less make friends. Talking about cleaning up the city, cleaning up the police, cleaning up everything. If he was so unpopular, why was he kept on? No one on the force wanted to risk insulting his parents by firing him. Just got passed around from department to department, detail to detail. He did a lot of community outreach. Community outreach? What, like bake sales? Like giving talks at schools about saying no to drugs until you turn 21. Woof. Must have really loved his job to put up with that. Or he just wanted to prove a point that bad. One of those guys, huh? Don't you try to save the lower ward patrols for the more seasoned, better armed officers? We do, yeah. How'd you know that? By going to the lower wards and looking at the cops you send there, of course. I read about it in Watch magazine last month. Oh. If Chopin was the son of such powerful men, why'd he end up in the lower wards last night? That... I don't know. You don't know? By all accounts, he and his partner should have been at least 2 patrols removed from that area. Must have been following up on some other lead. His partner. Who's that? The hero who finally arrested the Hound of Ikaria. That's who. I'll have to send him a congratulatory fruit basket. Huey Rogers. Pretty bare bones record, but maybe that'll just add to his legend. What legend? Taking your client alive. Whacked him on the head with his sidearm. Knocked him out cold. Guess it was a small miracle that Sosuke wasn't just shot dead if they thought he killed a cop. Maybe, but it wasn't pure luck. Only thing that did stick out to me in Rogers' record was his shooting score. 41. Out of 100. You need 40 to pass. I think someone took pity on him when tallying up his score. So only whacked Sosuke in the head because he was too bad of a shot to avenge his partner? At least Rogers knows his weakness. The Hound. I keep hearing that name, the Hound of Ikaria. I cringe every time. No one actually calls him that, right? Sorry, but I've definitely heard that name circulating around organized crime before. Must be one hell of a bodyguard to have earned a nickname for it. He's a bodyguard? Then, yeah, must be pretty good. Of course, hound dogs are known for other things besides guarding. Sorry, that was crude. Aw, don't be sorry. I don't even get enough of the joke to be offended. Is it saying that he gets around? Anyways, or is he just loyal? I have no idea. Okay, that makes sense for some interesting food for thought. But Detective London, if you are working for the Bluebloods... I never said I work for the Bluebloods. It's more of a gig worker type thing, Tiger. I'm friends with everybody. If you are working for the mob in general, then how do I know you're even talking to me at the right place and not to? Whoa, whoa. I may pass a message along here and there, but I'm not... Damn. Hell, no one else is either. Whatever you're imagining, it's not that exciting, I promise. Not that exciting. Sounds about right. Is it like this in every city? Handshakes and gentlemen's greetings behind closed doors? You disillusioned? The state has a great deal of power, Detective London, and makes countless rules. Now, I'm a big girl. I know that those rules don't apply to people equally. And I understand the value of criminal informants and the possible conflicts of interest that arise in trying to keep them around. What I don't get is why the state has all of this strength, and it won't use it to just wipe the underworld off the map. That's pretty cold logic. I expect my state to be far colder. Hey, you ever heard of this one? A politician, a CEO, and a mob boss are sitting at a round table with a gun in the middle. Who are you betting on? It's the CEO. The CEO looks at the loaded gun and sees the bullets in the clip as inventory that needs moving. Plus, they're used to taking a job and setting up their golden parachute before anything else. I doubt they'd walk into that room without first planning how they're getting out of it. Fair enough. CEOs only get the job in the first place by convincing their board they can navigate high stakes. But it's a trick question, of course. Rock, paper, scissors has no trump card. Politician can bring in the heavy arm of the law down on the mob boss if he doesn't shoot the CEO for him. The mob boss can have the CEO's family killed if he doesn't blow away the politician first. And the CEO can turbocharge the campaign of whomever the politician's opponent is if he refuses to miss the mob boss. Yeah, seems like you could make the argument to go in the other direction too. You could. So the point the riddle's meant to teach is this: whoever convinces someone else to pull the trigger comes out on top. Funny. So in the parable you've set up, the gun on the table, that's the police? A blameless tool with no will of its own? Yeah. Though it was older men than I who set it up. Didn't realize this country's police were so powerless. However do you manage? We used to have a partner that helped us out a lot. A tiebreaker. Because all three of those powerful men would be screwed if a journalist told the world they were meeting together. I've got good news for you, Detective. Journalists still exist. I can introduce you to one. You could even take a photograph. Oh, I know they're not extinct. People will always write. It's just that no one wants to pay them to. Sorry, didn't mean to talk so much. Maybe it's nerves coming back down here. What happened the last time he visited? Something up? Didn't put you to sleep, did I? No, actually. Your 3-seat table reminded me of an even older thought experiment. If God is omnipotent, why does he allow the existence of the devil? Of the devil. Yeah. Roll credits, baby. Chapter 2 over. Even I know that one. To preserve free will, or whatever, right? Yeah, that's the answer most people give. That's not the answer I would give. I think, why does he let the devil keep going? If he's omnipotent, it's because God is the devil. But now I'm wondering if it isn't a rock, paper, scissors deadlock like the one you just described. God lets the devil be so he'll terrify man, and man will always need God's warm protection. And God needs man's faith, which can't be compelled. Of course, most people would also say that God's long dead in the 21st century, but we're still around. So that leaves the devil in an awfully strong position, doesn't it? Yeah. You always picture 3 men in that room, don't you? Huh? Ah, yeah, I guess I do. Sorry. Do 55 feminist rosaries for your penance. What does that mean? Oh, you pray with the rosary 55 times? What is that? I don't know what that is. This is a reference to something that I don't do. But yeah, I would say that God is the devil if he's omnipotent. 2086. Lower wards. Wow, sure love this place. I only have good memories here. Detective London. We're definitely not alone down here. But when you reassured your partner that we'd have company, I didn't think you were including Bluebloods. You know, I knew I'd forgotten to mention. What? Well then she's a liar, babe. Because I never said that. No, I never said that. Oh, come on, babe. That's what she's like. She lies for fun. Because that's what I call you, babe. It's a pet name. You like it. No, don't hang up. Don't hang up, baby. Don't hang up. Of course I do. We gotta get to work, Han. I have to call you back, babe. Something just came up. Nice. London, what is this? London, who is this? Counselor Morgan, this is a delayed Han. Adelaide. She's a Blueblood. Hey, I'm perfectly legitimate career woman. You're speaking to a Zionist security site manager. If you need anything, miss, please don't hesitate to reach out. A real business card. It even has a watermark. Let's see that. Wait, this is the proposition City Head next month's convention. That is not the thing I got. Whoa, whose number is that? Is that her? Adelaide Hahn's business card listing her as a site manager at Zionist Security, unknown front for the Blueblood criminal organization. Includes her personal contact number on top of the work details for some reason. Maybe she likes me. I'm not familiar with Zionists. We're a private security and investigating firm. We provide bouncers, armed escorts, we catch cheating partners, find runaway debtors, run paternity tests, that kind of stuff. Sorry, but have we met somewhere? Whoa. They might know us. Zionist Security's trusted partner in your business ventures, offering a suite of private security, limited guards, convoys, bouncers, private. Yeah, she just mentioned that. Shipping insurance, that's exciting. Family history research. Answer a few questions about your needs in our portal below, and we'll get you set up with a peace of mind. Your browser may prompt you with security pop-up and interacting with some features on the site. You can safely disregard this message. They're all related to legal matter that already been settled out of court. Apologize for disruption on your site experience. All right. No, it can't be. I'd never forget a beauty like you. Oh, she likes us. She's the Hound's lawyer, Han. Seriously? She works for those copperhead scumbags? So we're mortal enemies? That sucks. Another life then, eh? But I'll still play nice if you will. Right. So you're private security, and you're currently securing this crime scene? Yeah, what's with the tone? What you're hearing is genuine bewilderment. London, why are the police letting Bluebloods contaminate the crime scene where a cop died? Come on, we don't have cooties. If this wasn't the location where a cop died, we'd have already turned full control over to them. What? The police contract out the security around crime scenes to private companies all the time. And around here, the private company best suited for the job happened to be Zionists. Letting them conduct their own side investigations is a small concession to keep the peace. Small concession? They're probably in there destroying evidence as we speak. We have the arcs to preserve the crime scene. They could burn the building down and we'd still have a pristine copy. London Bridges is trying to save face. The police couldn't keep this crime scene off limits without our help, and he knows it. Gremlins would be smashing their shiny cameras and popping their expensive tires around the clock if we weren't here. Lower ward kids take out drones by tossing shoes at them for fun. Is that why you see shoes hanging off wires? No, I don't know why that happens. It's just a thing teens have always done for fun. Mystery solved? Fine, maybe the cops and Bluebloods are all consummate professionals who never even bicker. What kind of impartiality can I expect coming here to defend an Ikaria? Well, you might get some ugly looks from those with less chivalry, but no one's gonna get in your way. We know how defense attorneys operate. We know damn well how you usually win. No one's gonna do anything that'll let you worm the hound out of his life sentence on a technicality. You sure you wouldn't prefer that? To have him back out on the street so you can take another shot at him? Oh, so flattery. That's how you flirt. What does that mean? You think we'd ever manage to gun down the hound of Ikaria in the streets, shank him in a holding cell? Bluebloods took him alive just fine the other day, didn't they? Yeah, and look what happened to them afterwards. So you won't tamper with the crime scene just because you want to make sure the state lobotomizes Sosuke for pentuple homicide. Yeah. I mean, we also literally get paid good money to do these kinds of jobs, so we have a reputation to maintain. Rate us 5 stars when we're done looking around, Kay? I'll be sure to leave a glowing review. So this is the main entrance? Front door looks about as heavy as I remember, but it's unlocked. What's that? How is this door found? Chopin and Rogers were the first officers on the scene, responding to gunfire. Someone heard that? Good thing I cleaned up fast. Checked the area, then entered through the front door. The door was definitely locked when I arrived, but I didn't lock it behind me when I left. It didn't have any keys. Admiring our handiwork, this is Cyanus installation. Who else would Bluebloods trust to secure Blueblood buildings? How does it lock? You never used a key before? I want to know how the lock functions. Does it lock behind you automatically? That's a good question. You looking to buy? Because I could set you up. It is a good question, hon. Why don't you answer it? Yeah, this model locks behind you by default. You need a key to get in if someone doesn't unlock it for you from the inside. A physical key? Physical keys can't be hacked or overridden by a police badge. Some people consider those useful features. Is that why the door's ajar? Looks like the lock's been destroyed. Was it found like this? Yeah, for as long as the arcs had been set up. It definitely wasn't locked when me and Reyes arrived, which was around 10:20 p.m.? Hang on, you and Reyes, were you the second officers on the scene? That's right, we weren't far when the 10999 went out a 10:15. Long way from precinct 254, isn't it? We were in the area. Awkward. You wanted the tour then? Actually, I'd like to check out the alley first. You know, the crime scene's on the 3rd floor, right? Yeah, but it has a window that opens to the alley, doesn't it? I just prefer to start from the bottom and work my way up sometimes. Sure, we can start there. Just be careful where you step if you like those boots and all. Ooh. Alright, time for some investigating. It was much darker last night than it is now, and I only took a quick peek. But even so, this looks like it's been moved, huh? Yeah, was trash picked up last night, perhaps? Checking on the model number on this side. Looks like dumpsters of this make haven't been picked up by the city in a decade. I didn't realize there was a DRM on trash cans. Hey, it's a heavy model, tough to lift, even if its wheels weren't broken. And designed for containing industrial waste. How it ended up here in a residential district isn't that hard to puzzle out, is it? It was cheaper for the Megs to dump their shit on us than it was to haul it to a landfill. Is that why I can see these markings on the ground there from leaks? Aw, you really are a tourist, aren't you? I've been in the lower wards before. But only at night, right? Rain's dirty down here. Stains the ground whenever it falls. Acid rain, like from the history books? Not quite that bad. Just smog combined with precipitation combined with The charms of the city to make dirty rain. Like I said, lower wards spring water. There's a shot named after it. Tequila and pickle juice. Ugh. So, is the dumpster empty? I'll have to try tequila and pickle juice. It sounds... No, it doesn't sound amazing, but... Doesn't sound like it would be that awful? I don't know, man. It doesn't sound like horrible. Let's see. Hey, grab a glove if you're gonna... Yeah, it's mostly empty, except for a bunch of scrap metal at the bottom. Explains why I can't get it to budge. Careful, if you get your toe trapped under there, don't look at me to help you just because I'm modded. I'm modded. Are you saying you couldn't budge it either? I could if a girl was cheering me on. Okay, London. Thanks. Don't know what I was expecting to find, really. Now, just watch it so you don't... Let the lid slam. Sorry. Huh. She busted out her thing. Wait. How do I go look at the other thing? I mean, I'll look at it when I choose something to look at. Yeah, let's read. Okay, what? Dumpster. Industrial dumpster found in the alley. Incredibly heavy, yet still shows signs of having been moved recently. Lid makes unpleasant sound as uncovered by Detective London's thorough investigation. Very thorough. Front door, it's been shot. Trey definitely had to unlock it to let me inside. I didn't think to see if it had locked behind me after I left. Oh yeah, the red stuff is probably written by us. Fun, fun, fun. Terms, 1099. Emergency response code utilizing municipal systems. Most standard issue suit biomonitors allow this code to be sent out across emergency networks automatically when cardiac activity is disrupted or blood pressure changes rapidly. Oh, that's cool. I know ARCs. Han. Hey, hot stuff. Blood type O-. She's tall, 183. April 16th. Site manager, sign of security or occupations. She likes new furniture, silk clothes, and dimples. Oh, good for her. Dislikes clingy types, jealous types, needles. Plays pickup games. Avoids laundry day. Least favorite chore, throwing out dead flowers. Oh, that is sad. You know what? Good for you. I like her, even though you could be a killer. One problem, Bluebloods and cops running security. No blame for leaving their shit here. I'll give the moral high ground to whichever part of the society learns to pick up after themselves first. Bombing ruled out in university fire. Panic abound last week on campus when the computer labs at Nortechnica University were set ablaze in the early hours of the morning. Students and faculty skirted the campus in anxious, hunched postures as federal agents descended on the lab's vicinity, searching for signs that could point to a culprit. But as of today, the fire has officially been ruled an accident and successfully traced back to a cooling system failure in the basement's main server hub. A freak accident that has provided simultaneous relief and confusion to the community. When the fire was first reported on, many were quick to point out its similarities to the other fires and bombings recently reported as sweeping eastward across the nation. Dubbed by some members of the press as work of the Witch of the West, each incident appears to have targeted data infrastructure, hitting state, corporate, and academic nerve centers, and leaving behind significant financial grief in the aftermath. Hundreds of thousands of files related to student debt, all of it non-recoverable. Oh, said one anonymous campus security specialist after the university student registry records went up in literal smoke. We're reaching out to alumni as quickly as we can, try to piece their records back together, but frankly, a lot of them have been less than eager to speak with us, and we may have no choice but to re-examine payment plans for our current students' tuition. Federal investigative officials have no formal comments at this time, but some local law enforcement officers have described seeing federal agents frustrated with the so-called witch. Criticisms of the response has begun to surface from political realm, with Senator Colt formally calling for the Director of Investigations to testify as to the progress or lack thereof in search for the serial arsonist. Another notable, hey, we don't seem to have your ID in our database, sad face. All right. So is this some kind of Robin Hood shit? Someone's just burning people's debt down to the ground and that's about it? I feel like I heard stories about bombings out west in the last few months, but I didn't know they'd all been attributed to one person, or at least they're now calling them the Witch of the West. There's no mention of victims, only data centers being targeted, but clearly this witch is hitting someone where it hurts. If they've got now got... Oh, the Fed's involved. I mean, schools are involved, but... Wait, what? The Feds are in, right? Yeah, they were like, yo, what's going on? The director of testifies progress. Yeah, okay. What really stands out here is that the federal investigators are getting involved. Most national security agencies were absorbed into the military police complex decades ago. That bureau survived, but it's a mere fraction of the size it used to be, and very different in its function. Their modern reputation is that of attack dogs, deployed by the Senate to make examples of political targets. Can't say I like the idea of them being out there hunting for serial offenders. Yeah, I think we're a serial offender. And that's not just because of our sassy attitude. Good times, we kill people. This fire escape would lead right up to the crime scene, assuming it doesn't come crashing down once you step on it. It's missing the ladder that would connect to its street level. You're violating fire code with its tetanus trap, Han. Building inspection's not my department. Besides, who'd want to climb up into a burning building? Firefighters, you're funny, Bridges. Even a copper firefighter wouldn't risk getting singed to save a lower ward's property from burning down. I mean, yeah, copper. Clanker. Yeah, okay. I know what a copper is. And ADD could probably make the jump up there. ADDs are heavy, and if Android leaped into that, the whole mess would probably come down on top of them. Yeah, modders are heavy too. Hey. Looks like the only way into the building is through the front door then. That was a great haul. Alright, I'm done back here. Well, more like backstreet. So I think I've seen everything That's right. I was standing here last night when... Eh? Wait, what was that? It was dark and foggy. The kid was too far off to make out my face. Weren't they? Oh shoot, it's that small child. What is it, Tiger? Nothing. Thought I saw someone out in the corner of my eye, that's all. Yeah? Around here, maybe it was an enlisted. What do you... Those are real? Keep to themselves, obviously, but yeah, they're real. I've met some. They inform, sometimes, on what they've seen. Never come in to testify, of course. You'd think they'd stand out, dressing like that, but if their camouflage didn't work, they wouldn't be enlisted, right? What do you mean they keep to themselves? Don't they work with any of the gangs down here? Sorry. Have I gotten your hopes up or something? Trust me, you've got a better chance of winning the lottery than running into one. Right. Forget I asked. The unlisted, huh? Not part of the system. It's an informal designation given to individuals, often missing persons or unhoused, who have not been tracked in any government database. Yeah, that's what I thought. They're most undocumented. For much of the 21st century, it was undocumented immigrants. Today, unlisted mostly refers to small groups of seasonal workers who travel the country in migrating caravans to find work undercutting corporate contracts. Concerns about malnourishment, illiteracy, and extreme poverty and rampant mental illness within the enlisted population. Yeah, that makes sense. You ready to go inside? I think so. So as long as... No, I'm not with anyone else. It's just me here. Because she's shrill, princess. And delusional. You know that. I'm sure she'll catch up. Hey, babe. Alright. So you were saying this used to be an apartment building? Somewhere between that and a long-stay motel, yeah. Bluebloods didn't deviate far from that model when they took over. They call rooms like these vaults, places to stash away a lover, witness, debtor when there's too much heat. You've gone through all of these vaults, I take it. Sinus helped me with that last night, yeah. Bringing around master keys, clearing out every possible hiding place. Didn't find a red-handed killer hiding anywhere, did you? Sorry, no. So, is this the Bluebloods' forte then? Securing people, places, and things? You could think of it that way. I guess I always assumed gangs made their money through drugs. Well, the Bluebloods do deal around here and there. But narcotics have been a rich man's game ever since the CDCA rolled in. If you have the funds to ride the gray wave the way House Ikaria does, you can make a killing. They've got the market cornered from black to gray to white to pure green profit. The Bluebloods hate that they have to make do with the scraps all the Megs and the house don't bother producing en masse. Professional jealousy, how ugly. Why can't these underworld overlords just bury the hatchet, get together, and screw over the consumer like reasonable people do? They've tried, if you believe the rumors. About a year ago now, there was some kind of meeting, an olive branch from the golds and the blue to the blues. Apparently, the Bluebloods had a product that the Ikaria wanted to distribute. The Ikaria sell legal drugs now, though. And what kind of product could the Bluebloods have that the Ikaria couldn't manufacture? Not sure. Maybe that's why it went south so fast. Blood was spilled in less than an hour. The Ikaria aren't the type to keep negotiating after being spat on like that. And so the Bluebloods remain firmly planted in their lower ward's niche. You might not like having to take the low end, but they are filling a gap in the market. And that's every proper capitalist's calling, right? Besides, the workers certainly appreciate their protection down here. Workers hire Bluebloods for protection, but that's... all the stuff is legal, so as long as they're licensed, isn't it? Legal? Yes. Respectable? Most would still say no. So, household name security megs consider it too high risk to be seen in the company of workers. Doesn't help that their average board member is easily pushing 60 years old. Punishing. You aren't that far from pushing 60 yourself, are you? Matter of opinion. Besides, I'm a very modern, forward-thinking man. Did you finish those 50 rosaries already? Oh, right. And the Ikaria, they don't, compete in that market? No. People at the Ikaria's Heights might patronize a courtesan or two in the cloud districts, but they'd never lower themselves to work alongside one. Hypocrites. That much I understand perfectly. The hypocrisy is the appeal for them. The rules don't apply to me. You couldn't ask for a more pure expression of power. Absolutely. You got it. Damn. Worse than I remember. Like a demon tore through the place. Seriously. What the hell happened here? That's what we all get paid to find out, right? Yeah. I've definitely got a head start on the rest of you, though. Shall we bring up the arts? Sure, I'll patch you in. Allow me. If you're needed on the phone, Miss Han, please don't let me keep you here. Nonsense, I've got all the time in the world for you. Everyone's treating me like royalty today. Yay. Arcs. Alright. Oh, whoa, wow. Who's this? Who are those people? Oh. Man, it's just right through them. Took the words right out of my mouth. Where shall we start? How about with that tall, dark, and mysterious... How about with tall, dark, and mysterious in the middle here? That's your client. He was found standing over Chopin's body by the arresting officer. Rogers, right? And then he knocked Sosuke out. Correct. So why is it this artistic rendition of Sosuke and not a capture from Rogers' body cam? Well, it seems like at the time, their body cam was off? Seriously? I chewed him out yesterday. I chewed him out myself if he was here with us. It's department policy to have all sensors green when responding to an emergency. Did all this... Not qualify as an emergency, then? Chopin and Rogers were responding to shots fired. That's not uncommon in this part of town. For two inexperienced officers first on the scene, it might have not come to mind. At least Chopin could use that excuse. Rest in peace. But apparently Rogers requests replacement body cams nearly every week. Okay, well, he sounds like shit. If he's that big of a klutz, take away his gun once the city's done throwing him a parade. I'll, put in a request. Right, who's next? My favorite guy. No, joking, my favorite guy's this dude. Oh. Who the hell? Sking. What's up here? Can I look at the TV? Yeah. Oh, there's our dude. That was our favorite guy. Ready? Wait, what do you mean, ready? Oh, read. Paper scattered over his desk. Suppose I'm partially to blame. I didn't exactly memorize the setup before I started searching for the mask. What's this? M. Icaria. What did you find here? A note? Looks like Creek's handwriting from the other files I've seen. M. Icaria. Looks like M. Icaria, actually. Icaria. He's dead, London. I was gonna let the spelling mistake slide. Right, sorry, but M? Makoto? There's gotta be Makoto, right? You know Makoto? I know he's the Icaria's heir apparent. From what I hear, he's an appropriately frightening young scion. He's really quite something. But why does his name be on Creek's desk? He was Creek's real target the other day. Sosuke was some kind of consolation prize? Bagging the hound was a consolation prize. These punks had their sights set high. Yeah. Like no one taught them not to stare at the sun. Fair enough. Ooh. Creek's fine wood desk. He seemed particular about it. Maybe in no small part because it had a priceless no mask hidden inside it, but I assume you've been through this datapad here? Front to back, but we didn't find anything we didn't already know. Seems like Creek was smart enough to use it for payments and nothing else. How'd he manage that? Even gangsters need spreadsheets. Hence the paperwork you see scattered about. They really did everything by hand. PPP is what they call it over in organized crime, paper and pencil protocol. Helps the orcas keep their books off the books. Or at least in format that's easier to destroy, should push come to shove. Did you run checks on this credit card that's jammed in there? Not surprised you don't recognize it. That there's a dark card. Wow, tell me more. Wow, tell me more. It's an untraceable wallet in the palm of your hand. I would hope any wallet could fit in the palm of your hand, detective. But you really can't find the owner? Can't trace any of the transactions? Most we can tell is the datapad registered calls to dark card networks around 9:40 p.m., but it timed out. What does that mean? The transfer didn't go through. Either someone got cold feet, or they forgot their password. Happens to the best of us. Worker is a short... Oh yeah, we didn't read. Sex worker. Of course, that's fair. CDCA. Oh, we already read about this in the previous thing. Creek's note. It's not correct. Why is it spelled wrong? Is somebody like, what did they... It's that word. It's that word for when you can't read. Can't read letters. Ah, my brain's melting. It's fine. Datapad. Couldn't avoid touching it. Had to at least pretend the dark card would work. Yeah. Fire escape. Rusting, poorly maintained. So one could only freely move back and forth between the third floor room and where the bodies were found, and second floor room beneath it. It's the only reason I had to take my gloves off in the first place is because of this useless piece of plastic. Yeah, pretty annoying. Yeah. Damn, what is that word? Oh well, it's fine. Happens to the best of us. By the way, why has this cloth been flagged? Not sure. Forensics didn't find any blood on it. Who flagged it? Lady Rockford herself. Could be that she fat-thumbed it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's nothing. No, it's Lady Rockford. She knows stuff. Who's this cool guy? Blood loss from the neck. Even I can tell that much. Stabbed with a bladed weapon right near the carotid artery. Very efficient. Not the kind of kill someone would make without prior experience. My client's a humble bodyguard. Come on now. You know you got a job to do, but you'll shame him if you don't let him take credit for this one. Miller was no joke in a fight. To take him out with one clean stab to the neck using his precious signature katana? The hound must be itching to brag about it. I'll defer to the medical examiner on this matter. Thank you very much. What do you mean? Sato said the same thing. Katana to the neck. In not so many words. Is Miller's blood even on the katana? Even if it is, why would a medical examiner assume the katana was used here when my knife is as much better fit for? My knife. Where is it? Where? I gave Sosuke the knife before I left. It should have been found on him when he was arrested. It should be somewhere in the arcs. You looking for something, Tiger? They haven't found the knife, and I ask about it anyway. That'd mean admitting that I know it's missing. If I tell them Sosuke mentioned a knife that only the killer would know about, I'd be ruining my case before we even enter the courtroom. Or worse, pointing the police in the direction of the knife's real origin. No, Is anything found on my client's persons when he was arrested? Besides a gun, a sword, and a bunch of blood that did and didn't belong to him? No, not even a lint in his pockets. Alright, that's a problem. Why do you ask? No reason. Sometimes you gotta shake the tree to see what falls out. Or so they say. Oh, you were blindly guessing. I've been there. Some things must have happened to that knife. Couldn't have just disappeared. Not from a crime scene, locked down like this. I'll need to find it, but I can't just go looking for it. Is this what it feels like to play with a handicap? Unfortunately, yes. Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, katana. No, we killed him with a knife. Stabbed him right in the neck. Ah! Let's go look at him for fun. Ah, the big one. He made a strange face when I shot him, and a loud slam when he hit the floor. This one, real long rap sheet. The short ending. Buckshot to the torso. Died instantly. Flexware on his mods put his time of death at 9:44 p.m. Killed by his own weapon. Comes up a bit short of poetic justice, but it doesn't look like he was in any kind of struggle for it beforehand. But how'd someone manage to get it off his hands? Wasn't any great feat, I assure you. Tex identified it as a double-barreled Mag US, and... Hey, how'd you know the gun was his? He's still wearing the holster in the arcs. Now, was I mistaken? No. That was close. About a week ago, Tanks here was topped and frisked by a patrol unit. Yeah, I was wondering if they mentioned him getting shot already, and I was like, damn, we're just saying it's his. They found this gun on him. They found his gun on him, and they just handed it back to him. He bought and paid for it above board. So this gun isn't jailbroken. You have tag data from the murders? No, we don't. Strange. According to the text, the gun is jailbroken. What happened in between last week and the night that he'd get the tags stripped off? Something that made him think this piece would see action soon. Yeah, with the Ikaria. I love that every time I end it, it's like, because I move my mouse to the corner, I just constantly fly to the corner. Let's look at our boy over here. I advise you to brace yourself before opening the autopsy photos of this one, counselor. Yes, this is sufficiently obfuscated. A lot to take in. The skull was crushed. Yes. The cause of death was blood loss from a laceration across the neck. He hit the floor and bled out in seconds. Everything else you're seeing there is post-mortem. Overkill. Not the word I would use for this kind of shit. Oh, calm down. I didn't do it for the fun of it. It was his eyes. In this specific case. This victim had modded eyes. Seems to me like someone just didn't want to take any chances. Bullshit. No one in the lower wards would get optic mods with recording functionality. You wouldn't be welcome anywhere. You gotta claim the Hound of Ikaria didn't know something that fundamental? Nah, he bashed his brains in for the fun of it. I'm sure, to a law-abiding citizen like yourself, we're all scum of the earth who deserve... I'm pretty scummy myself, Han. Defense attorney, remember? Who the hell deserves shit like this? Deserves. What does that have to do with anything? I take it that this bat is what did the deed? Matches the splinters found inside his wounds, if you had any doubts. There's nothing here about Sosuke's fingerprints. You think we could get anything but partials off that? It's practically splinters. Makes sense. I was the one who actually swung it down, and I was wearing gloves by then. Whoever did this, they were damned enthusiastic. You know how hard they'd have to swing to crush a skull, to break the bat itself? Could imagine. There's some faint blood that's been smeared here that didn't belong to his victim. And Sosuke. I wonder if maybe the bodies hadn't gotten moved around for some reason, but your client's legs and feet were soaked in others' blood when he was arrested. And he wouldn't have had to sneak up on Chopin in order to stab him in the back. And he would have had to sneak up on Chopin. You think he slid his feet across the ground to avoid making noise? Does he say otherwise? I'll let you keep guessing on that one. Alright, alright. Are we practically done here? Oh, we can check our boy. Oh, the window. Windows open to the fire escape and the alley below. There's a thin misting of blood across them. Got a good guess on who it belongs to. This is where we found Creek, leader of the pod. Ballistics tell us the shooter was standing in front of the desk. Near where my client was found. Your words, not mine. Nasty slug burst in his chest and blew blood back into the windows behind him. The open windows. Hell of a spread. Yes, it is. Did someone open these or... No, they were open when we secured the scene. Any fingerprints? Plenty on the handles there, from Creek and his pod. That's where the handles are? Something wrong. Definitely, but how the hell could I explain why I know that? No, sorry, I just... Guess I'm wondering about the keys around his neck in the arc. What was it? Broken back, Mag US, yes. Horribly gaudy, but they got the job done. Last I saw it, I left in Sosuke's waistband. Windows, fingerprints on the handles. Just barring Sosuke from exiting the other room before I used to destroy Trey's eyes. No one else knows that, and I have no way of informing them. What a pain. It is a pain. Anyways. Wait. Just want to quickly look at the log. Hell of a spread. Someone do this. That's where the handles are. Plenty of handles here from Creek and Spot. They were open. But how the hell can I explain why I know that? Yeah, okay, anyways. Oh well. One was a master key. Could lock any other door in the building. The other key we eventually paired to a small safe in his desk. Empty, though. Suppose that's all irrelevant, since he apparently died with the key on his person. Yeah, they caught my eye too, to be honest, but not every detective's instincts pan out. So who was this guy? Curious? Only professionally. I don't care what he was before I killed him. Criminal record dating as far back as it goes, sealed when he turned 18. What makes you so sure he has a juvenile record, then? The more experience these guys get, the more time in between their arrests. Pattern I'm seeing, he was pretty damn experienced by the time he was of age. You're trying to compliment him. I wasn't trying to insult him, Han. Anything you'd like to add? Nah, nothing I want to say in front of you two. If you want to, say a few words. The detective and I could step. Only words I have are for his killer. I'll deliver them in person, or not at all. Fair enough. Do you have any ideas why someone might want to hurt this Creek fellow? That's not funny. That dog you're defending? It's a fair question, Han. Give it a fair consideration. Besides the Ikaria, the Rust, or a city's finest, no, Creek was charismatic and driven. Plus, he made us a lot of money. No true blue would want him gone. The bloodthirsty Ikaria soldier he was interrogating, however, probably wasn't a huge fan. What about family? This is getting old fast. Younger brother's listed as his next of kin. Leave his brother out of this. Hell, leave me out of this. Rooting through a person like you're picking at zits. Well, seems like he's out of town anyway, taking summer lessons at How Marine are you? That's a good school. An expensive school. Younger brother has no listed occupation. Also no priors, no juvenile record, TAD. At his age? Poor kid. Pills for that cost an arm and a leg. A Creek must have been sending him. Detective, did you just leak confidential medical data of a non-suspect to a third party? Hey, you don't have to report. How about I buy you an ice cream or something? Bribery too? You're digging yourself pretty deep. Is it still bribery if I'm the government official? Yes. All right. I think we looked at everything. Oh no. Thought this door is where they are keeping Sosuke and where I let him off the leash. I'll leave that for after I finish in here. Yeah, you're right. Let's finish this up. Who the hell are you, really? Are you lying there dead right in the middle of my crime scene? That was Tariq Chopin, as you might guess, a patrol officer and the son of two loving fathers, who've strongly emphasized to the chief of police their desire to see justice done. Reyes wasn't exaggerating about how he died. Run through from behind with a sword. So he would have been standing in front of the desk, then he was impaled. Then he collapsed to the floor face first, and the sword had gotten stuck in the ground. Bad luck for the attacker, I suppose. Yeah, Dr. Sato's noted in her report that the stab wound was, in her words, jostled. Pardon? Like the attacker didn't try to pull it out, but it was stuck, so they had to jiggle it around? Hey, it's probably what saved Roger's life. Kept your client distracted and disarmed long enough to give Rogers time to rush in. Allegedly. Not where I left you, that's for sure. And according to Sosuke, the one thing he does recall after I passed the baton to him is gripping his sword. You're not giving me much to work with. Fingerprints on the grip match your client's right hand, by the way. Here, I was getting my hopes up. And it definitely wasn't suicide, because no one else's prints are on the damn thing. I ruled out suicide once I saw he was stabbed in the back, thank you. There are papers scattered underneath his body. Did I knock them off the desk at some point? Maybe when the tall one hit the ground? Or maybe when I was swinging that bat down on... Hang on. What kind of paper is this? I can't read a word. Really? You should get that looked at. My vision's 2020. What am I looking at, Miss Site Manager? Those docs are internal business, ma'am. Nothing to worry your pretty little head over. How do you know they're internal business if we can't read them? You've really never seen red ink before? Never heard of it. It's a corporate information security protocol. Files with special flags trigger specific print commands if you try to make physical copies. Makes it use some kind of special ink. Try to take a photo of it and it comes out a bright blur. Paper's special too. Too much heat, humidity, becomes illegible. A corpse bleeding out on top of you is a lot more heat and humidity. So these documents contain confidential data that the Bluebloods wouldn't want getting out? What do they say in the movies? I can't confirm nor deny that. And if I subpoenaed the data? Do your worst. We got lawyers too. And unlike your client, they've got all the time in the world to stall. Besides, you and I know both exactly what the Hound's motive was. And it isn't written in those pages. It's written all over his busted up face. Sure. But you won't mind if I copy down whatever I can anyway, right? I wouldn't have any legal reason to stop you, if that's what you're getting at. Yay, red ink. All right, that's an interesting setup we got so far. Wait, We have more here. Oh yeah, the screen. The screen. I turned it on to distract Hanks long enough to grab his gun, and I remember choosing not to turn it back off. Interesting setup. Powerful setup. Was blaring when we arrived. The sound system, I mean. One of the CS techs, a real audiophile, said it broke her heart how loud they must have blared the speakers all the time. Wears it out, she said. I wouldn't count on orcas to value the longevity of their tech purchases. Okay. Looks like that's everything in here. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it here. But yeah, no, interesting setup so far. We've got a misspelled Ikaria name. We've got mysterious stab in the back, Chopin. We've got this other patrol officer that feels untrustworthy. And we've got the Bluebloods that are looking into everything. Should be interesting. And also, our knife seems to have been missing, and we can't really ask anyone about that without implicating ourselves. So I guess there's some stuff for us to continue researching and looking into. I'm assuming next episode will be the remainder of the evidence, and perhaps we'll start the trial soon. Trial for the first day, I'd assume. Unless there's more to look at. We'll see. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one, and we'll try to figure this thing out together. Bye-bye.